everybody, how's it going? Mike from the Focus Garage here, and finally we are back in the RS3. A lot of people have been saying I need to make more content about this car, so here we are. We are back in it today, and I just kind of want to explain to you what's been going on with the car and what we plan to be doing with the car moving forwards here. So, since I've owned the car, I've gone ahead and I've put a downpipe on the car, and I've switched to the Unitronic Stage 2 tune with the vehicle. And I also have already to go, just not installed yet, the Unitronic bigger fuel injectors for the port injection side. So this car, once I get those injectors installed, is going to be flashed to the E85 Stage 2 map, which should really get this car moving quite decently. Now, I have been driving the car on Stage 2, just 93 octane for a while now. Really enjoying it like that, just because of the fact that it gives the car the noise that I was looking for. As I've mentioned in past videos, something that I wanted with this car was to kind of release, more of that 5-cylinder noise with it. And I did have, the mid-pipe delete there, which was decent, but I was left wanting a little bit more noise. So after the mid-pipe was, on the car, I'm like, I want more noise, but do I want to go ahead and get an axle back? Or like a catback system, or do I want to do a downpipe instead and, really benefit from the power gains that a downpipe gives you? So I made the choice. I got a downpipe. I went with the Bull X downpipe on the car. I've been very pleased with it so far. So we've got that. We've got the injectors ready to go. Another change that I'm going to be making with the car this year is I'm going to be changing from my 255/35/18 Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tires to a 265 35/18. So stepping up one tire size. It's going to be a little bit more sidewall as well, so the car will look meatier and beefier there. And it should just kind of help close off those wheel arches a little bit, make the wheel gap look a little bit better. So that should be perfect. I think I am going to be staying with the BC forged wheels for the summer setup. However, if you guys have seen pictures of the car lately with the Enkei PF01s on it, I've really fallen in love with the silver look of those wheels. So I'm not really sure if I want to do something else for the summer or put summers on the Enkeis or something like that. But having a nice bright silver finished wheel goes very well with the aluminum optics and the blue and everything like that. I'll pop up some quick pictures here just so you can see the setup that the car's on now, and then I'll compare it to kind of what it's like on the summer setup, and you guys will have to let me know what you prefer the looks of, because I'm torn. I'm not really sure which route I want to go with how I want the car to look here, but I've realized that, I've got this vehicle, and this car really is a great content vehicle. One of the biggest things about this car is that I love how well it does everything. The biggest knock that I give this car is it does lack some driver engagement, but it does everything so well. I mean, this is a car that you can comfortably cruise in for hours. This is a car that's very fast in a straight line. This is a car that handles very well. When you're driving like a normal person, it gets pretty good gas mileage. So there's so many different things that this car has going for it. I love the looks of it. I love the sound of it. That, every time I think of, oh, I had a squirrel there. I thought he was going to get smushed. That every time I think about, getting rid of the car or trading it for something else and, switching to something else, I'm like, man, this car really is that sweet spot to where I'll be missing and compromising in other areas. And I mean, it's true. I'm not really sure kind of what I would be doing with that. But as far as plans on what I plan to do with the vehicle this year, got some cool things coming up. So as far as things that I plan on doing with the vehicle this year is I've actually got a Tail of the Dragon trip planned and booked that I'll be doing sometime in May with this car. I'm going to be going back to the drag strip, hopefully getting some passes in on my 93 octane tune, and then running it again on E85 because I've never gone 10 seconds in the quarter mile, and I know that this car set up the way it is now should be plenty capable of clicking off some 10-second passes. So we're looking forward to getting some 10-second passes in with this car as well. And then I am going to be doing a road course day also with this car, and I'd like to be doing it at Autobahn Raceway in Joliet. So be on the lookout for that. We're going to be getting some road racing with this car, and I think it'll be an absolute blast with that. For those of you that don't know, this car also has a lot of suspension modifications. It's got a rear sway bar, end links all around. It's lowered on new speed lowering springs. It's got Super Pro control arms in the front. There's all the mounts that you could think of for the engine and transmission. It's got subframe inserts front and rear. So the car's got a lot going for it as far as suspension modifications go. And after driving it a little bit more aggressively on some roads that we've got down south, I have learned that this vehicle actually does handle pretty flat and very, very well. Kind of exceeds my expectations. Let's see if you guys can hear some exhaust here. So with those suspension modifications, the car handles very, very flat, and it doesn't push and understeer the way that you would expect a front-wheel drive biased and an engine, transversely mounted to handle. Like, the car does handle way better than I was giving it credit for, and I'm not sure if a lot of that is because of all those mods that I mentioned, or if it's more of like an RS chassis dynamic thing. I would like to drive a bone stock 8V RS3 just to see kind of how they compare to this car with the modifications that it does have. But overall, I was pretty impressed with how it handled. So I think it'll be an absolute blast on a road course. Oh, but just like, that is, not a lot of throttle or anything like that. And you get the intake noise and the exhaust noise. And man, this car sounds great. And I'm very, very happy with the way the car is coming along so far. As far as like springtime maintenance, I'm going to be doing an oil change on the car soon. I've got the lip installed, as you've seen on previous videos here. So that's another thing that I've got done to the car. But it's just, here, we'll click off some downshifts and a little. Oh. It's so good. Yeah, right now we're driving the car around in dynamic mode, so the suspension's in the firmer setting, the exhaust flap is open, I've got the trans in sport mode, so we've got a little bit of the crackle pop going on. I'll be honest with you, I'm on the off-the-shelf Unitronic tune, my Stage 2 93 octane map, and there is almost too much crackles and pops for my liking on this map here. Like, when you let off at higher RPMs, this thing does do the ba-ba-ba-ba, and like, it's fun at first, but it's a little much after a while. I mean, I don't think anybody really needs that much noise coming out of their car. It's just a little childish, but I get a hoot out of it for now. It's pretty good. Still a little bit salty outside here in the Midwest. You got some salt dust on the road, and depending where you are, if the rain hasn't come and washed things up yet, roads are a little bit dirty, but I've been driving this car, quite a bit on and off. I'm trying to avoid driving it in like really bad snow and blizzards and stuff like that, just out of the sake of, other drivers plowing into me. But I mean, I'm not afraid of a little bit of salt getting on the car because I'll just wash it afterwards and, keep it as clean as I possibly can. But I've been really, really enjoying this car. I think this has been probably one of, if not the most favorite cars that I've owned, just because it can do so many things well. All right, we got a bit of a stop sign here, so we'll go ahead and send her across the road. Nothing too crazy, no launch control, but just... a nice little pull there, get some acceleration. Now, as far as what I would be maybe thinking of replacing this car with if I was to get rid of it, things that come to top of mind would be a Cadillac ATS-V. Those have been on my radar for a long time. A 6th gen Camaro ZL1 or a C7 Corvette Z06 or Grand Sport. Those are all stuff that would be in the running. I love the BMW M2. I've wanted one of those for a while, but I know that finding one of those used and in nice condition is, I feel, pretty much impossible. So I don't know if that's something that's realistic or not. So I'm not, really planning on something like that. But then again, like, I could see myself keeping this car for a very, very long time in Mike standards, like to normal people, I don't know what that means. But for me, that's anything longer than a year. Back roads ripping here. There's some of the popping in case you were wondering what I was talking about, the way that it sounds like there. The car is warmed up, so we'll really get into it here. Woo! We are moving. We had the traction control going off on us there. Colder roads, cold all-season tires. Here, hang on. It's good. I mean, it's exactly what you'd want the car to be and what you'd want the car to do. Like, it's kind of a point and shoot type deal to where it's a very, very well planted car. A Golf R coming at us. It's fast. Like, it is brutally fast in a straight line. And again, it's only on winter 93 octane right now. I feel like once we switch this thing to that E85, I'm going to be pretty impressed by the car. I like to explain the car to people too who don't really know what it is or know what it's about as like a cheat code, right? Because like these cars, making the power that they do, punch well above their weight class. And I say a lot of that is because of the all-wheel drive system and due to the fast-shifting dual-clutch transmission. You know, this 7-speed, not only can it take a lot of power, but it's an incredibly fast-shifting transmission, and it's a very good transmission that kind of blends between regular daily driving and sporty, more enthusiast driving. So, I mean, again, it hits the nail right on the head there. It's not a clunky around-town DCT the way a lot of BMWs or Mercedes are kind of known to be. This is a very good, well-rounded transmission. So you can't go wrong with that either. Here we got a little 90-degree turn here. Guy on a motorcycle. Look at him. It's like 28 degrees outside, and this guy is out here on a bike. Good for him. I have not touched the Aprilia in months, and we'll probably be getting to it soon. Here we go again here. It's a nice day for a cruise, so later on I'll probably take the car out, go a little bit farther from home here, and really get into some back roads and throw it around a little bit. But I just kind of wanted to give you guys an update with the car. We've got Stage 2 85 coming for this year. We've got Tail of the Dragon content, we've got drag racing content, we've got track days with it, and I'm still in love with the car. You know, that initial want and lust for the car has not yet gone away, but you know me, I have vehicular ADD, and I'm always planning on what's next to own there. But this car's been great. I've been loving it, and I'm definitely going to hold on to it for a bit more here. And you know, we've got a little bit more performance mods coming. I may be doing some visual stuff with the car as well, trying to figure out my wheel setup, if I want to do side skirts, a diffuser, spoiler, everything like that, moving forwards here. But yeah, just a quick little RS3 video. Wanted to kind of fill you guys in on what's going on with the car. And if you guys have any questions, drop them in the comments down below, and I will catch you in the next video.